I took the time, I stopped everything I was doing and started working on myself, started doing therapy, started doing just a lot of things that I didn't know that I absolutely needed.
So let's just get into Detroit too. I've given it an extensive and thorough listen, which I would have anyway. It was my pleasure.
Hmm.
And it's amazing. And especially if you're from the city, you feel a connection to it that's like a little different than maybe somebody who's not from Detroit.
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah, so why did you decide to do a follow up and do Detroit too?
Well, I know that I was actually taking a risk doing that too, because I know a lot of people may not be able to all the way see where I was coming from, especially with some of the music choices and some of the flips and some of the stories. Like some people just can't relate to it, but excuse me, I was hoping that I could bring them into my world. You know what I'm saying? And they would be able to relate it back to their own. So uh, I felt like I was at a point where I always knew I wanted to do a sequel to Detroit, because to me that was like one of my favorite projects and it was my biggest mixtape. And I was going through a lot. I was dealing with a lot personally, so it was like I was going through crazy depression, crazy like anxiety, and um I felt like broken inside. I felt like I didn't know what was going on, and I never experienced these things. And I'd always been somebody who knew how to meditate and like get past certain, hardships in my life, but it just seemed like everything was going wrong, and I had to like stop everything I was doing and like really focus on myself for the first time in my life. I always like did everything for everybody else, like my family, my mom, put my friends on. I would be the guy that would hardly take care of himself and try and take care of everything else. So it got to a point though where it was overflow, and I took the time, I stopped everything I was doing and started working on myself, started doing therapy, started doing just a lot of things that I didn't know that I absolutely needed, and in the process of that journey of like, which I'm still on, I think you got to keep it up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was discovering myself again because I felt like I had lost my passion. I was uninspired, and I felt like I've been rapping since I was 11 years old, so I've been doing it for 20 years at least. And I feel like when you do something for even just 10 years, your passion starts to change. You got to kind of reignite that flame, and that's what I went through, and it was incredible though. And so I called it Detroit 2 because I felt like I was going back to when I made the Detroit. I was kind of feeling like that same hunger, that same passion, but as a new and improved version of myself. So that's why I was
Mm.
like, that's why it really fit to call it that.
So you talked and you were very open and candid on this album about some of the mental health challenges that you faced, as well as you tweeted extensively
Hmm.
about some of the depression that you went through. Like one of my favorite lyrics is when you say, "In high school, I learned chemistry and biology,
But I had a
and
cope with
but not how to
anxiety.
cope with anxiety, right? Which is real." So
Yeah.
what you mentioned therapy. What all has helped you get through some of these struggles? Not to suggest that they're necessarily over with, but just at least learn how to cope with them.
Yeah, so like obviously I still experience these things a lot, but I just know like you said, I know how to deal with them better, when they come around. I realize that I'm in control really of my emotions until I give something else the control of them. Can't nobody else control how you feel except you. And one of the things besides meditation, and besides taking time for myself and communicating, is I just like to uh, take time for myself, and sometimes I go on a walk sometimes, and it don't take long. I'll just make sure I have fun. I feel like having fun with whatever you're doing is the biggest and most important ingredient for success. It's like you got to have fun while you're doing it, because I realize that you get what you give. So if you're giving out love and fun and having a great time and abundance, that's all that's gonna come back to you. It's when you taking things way too serious, you stressed out, you're vibrating on a lower frequency. So my advice is to just have fun and enjoy it, because that's when just them blessings gonna come back to you, I feel like.
So one of the things you tweeted was that you were under the impression that by you rapping, you doing what you love, that it was going to bring you the happiness that you really wanted.
Right.
And then it didn't bring you that happiness necessarily. You just said a moment ago that you started to feel yourself losing your passion. Was there a reason why this was happening? Like, why were you losing your passion for what you did?
Well, that was the part that was, by the way, you brought me some big ass headphones. We could probably could have done some earbuds or something. I'm kind of looking crazy on here. All right, that's cool. But yeah, I feel you, the plug-in part. It's cool though, if not. Okay. Yeah, so as far as losing my passion, I didn't know why that happened. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't figure it out. And I think I just, I still don't know why, but I just know that it really made me try a lot of new things, which I think helps too. Like when you try new things, it either brings you back to your passion in a different way or you discover a new passion, and I think that we're meant to do more than one thing in our lives. You know what I mean? I realized that rapping wasn't necessarily my passion all the way. My passion is to inspire. You know what I'm saying? That's what my real passion is. That's when I feel the best. It's like when I give someone inspiration, because that's something that money can't buy. You know what I mean? And I love rapping though too. It is a passion of mine, but I feel like my number one goal is to inspire, and then when I really realized that, and I've realized, okay, I'm able to do that through my music. You know what I mean? I really started thinking of things and expanding my mind. And, it made me not only return to my passion, it made me realize that like what my real passion, what my real calling is. And I feel like I'm walking on my path. You know what I'm saying?